Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the videos. Another paid request. This time for Aragorn. Thank you so much for that. And for those interesting requests in any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I also have a second YouTube channel just in case anything happens, as well as an Odysee channel, which that website's archiving some of this older stuff onto there. But again, feel free to request pretty much anything that's reasonable. Links are down below in the info box. Now there's two videos that Aragorn wanted me to do, which are reactions to lists he made. In this case, his top 20 favorite video games of all time. Now it'd be tough for me to make that list if I had to make a list. For me, I know it would involve games like, for top 20, I know Silent Hill 2, which I don't know about the remake. Resident Evil 4, which I know there's a remake of that coming out. But Silent Hill 2, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space 1 and 2. Dead Space 2 is actually my favorite. Evil Dead, Fistful of Boomstick. Doom 3, Disaster Report, Die Hard Arcade, Ninja Turtles, the arcade games, the first one, and Turtles in Time. Cold Fear, the first Silent Hill, among others. Contra for NES. But to the end of this, a lot of these games I might have heard of, but I've never played, so I can't say anything about it. Number 20 is 007 Nightfire. I'm not familiar with that James Bond game. I don't know if that's a, because I know some of them are racing games, or if that's a game like GoldenEye. Because I always hear people talk about GoldenEye. I even did a review of the documentary on the GoldenEye video game called Golden Era, which actually they got released from Vendor Syndrome, released a Blu-ray of that. It was kind of interesting. So for those who like that, you could pick up a Blu-ray from Vendor Syndrome. But 007 Nightfire I've never played. Resident Evil 1, the remake, is number 19. That's a game I've seen people play. My friend Michael King on his channel Phantasm with 2 S's, he played the game. He was a very entertaining playthrough. I've seen people play it. I've never played it for myself. It seems like a good game. Seems like a good remake with much more of a flourish in graphics, upgrading graphics. It seems tough to me, especially now that you have these zombies that you gotta make sure to burn them, otherwise they come back as, I think they're called Crimson Heads, and they're much more powerful. But at the same time, as a remake, it follows the structure of the original game. Doesn't seem like they edited anything out, instead just added more. Like they had the whole bit with the coffin and chains, you gotta put this mask and this mask up. It does seem like the voice acting is a bit better compared with the original game. Like I said, it does seem like a pretty big upgrade to the first game. And a lot of people have said that's the premier Resident Evil game, is Resident Evil 1 Remake. I mean, I played the original Resident Evil. I played 2, 3, 4, and so forth, but that one I still haven't played. I don't own the game. Maybe one day. Number 18, Power Stone. That sounds familiar, but I've never played it. Number 17, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Never played a Super Smash Bros. Game. I know that's one of those things where the next incarnation, there's the excitement of who gets revealed next time. Here's Solid Snake. Here's, all these different characters. I think, isn't Sonic? I don't know who's in the Melee, this one. But I've never been good at those type of, well, I was going to say fighting game, but it's more of an arena game, not people off the platform. I'd probably be the guy that gets his ass kicked in 0.5 seconds. Speaking of which, number 16, Mortal Kombat 9. I don't know what the difference between that and the other Mortal Kombat games are. I remember playing Mortal Kombat back in the day. on, I want to say it was Super Nintendo, and I would always get my ass kicked because I never knew how to do the moves. I especially never knew how to do the damn death animation moves, like the finish him. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And it'd be hard for me to do it. It felt like Street Fighter 2. I did a hand on the controls a bit more compared to other games. But Mortal Kombat was always tough for me. So I would always get my ass kicked, like, quickly. Like, god damn it. So I was never good at it. I know later on they would add people like Robocop and Predator and Terminator. Rambo with Sylvester Stallone's voice got added. So Mortal Kombat 9, I don't know which version that is. Number 15, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That one I've heard of. I've never played. I know it has more of an RPG element as well as Castlevania. So like you're going... Well, I don't know if RPG is the right word. Isn't that the one that people try to call Metroidvania? Where it's such a big castle and there's certain parts you cannot get to until you get certain items that you go back later and unlock those areas. Seems like a pretty extensively long game, and I would probably get really confused. Like, I don't remember this part. Fuck, what am I supposed to do? That's what happened with me in Metroid. I couldn't figure out what, or Super Metroid at least. I did play, it was more Super Metroid, and I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Where am I supposed to go? I get easily confused. So, because I sucked at it. But a lot of people mention the highest of praise for that game. Symphony of the Night. Number 14, Rayman 2, The Great Escape. I've heard about that. Isn't Rayman a platformer? I do like platformers. Back in the day, playing Super Mario Brothers and other types of platformers. Number 13, Metroid Prime. Is that the first-person Metroid game? I know there's some... At least they look first-person. I'm sorry, I'm blowing all your ideas because I like to say myself as a video game fan, but a video game fan removed by like 10 years where there's a good chunk of time I just was not playing any games at all. And then the ones I do play is like these ones I have for PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 or back to the day of Nintendo. Number 12, The Witcher 3. Definitely have heard of that because they did the show with Henry Cavill. And then Henry Cavill left. And the details of how he left, something about he wasn't happy because it wasn't like the source material. He's very much a fan of the source material. And Henry Cavill, I mean, the more you hear about the guy, he seems like a cool guy. I'm not a fan of him as Superman, but he does seem like a cool guy. But yeah, The Witcher 3, I've heard about. Grand Theft Auto 5. I've heard a couple people mention that game. Have you played it? It's like, the only Grand Theft Auto games I played is 3. That's really the only one I played was 3. In fact, speak to the, is this, yeah, Speak to the Devil. Grand Theft Auto 3. I know about Vice City and San Andreas. Vice City has an 80s theme. Although, to be honest, when I play that, I play Scarface. The World Is Yours. Which... I think I have that game. I remember having that game. I don't remember where I put it. Must be in there, but Grand Theft Auto 5 I never played. Star Wars Battlefront 2 haven't played. The Star Wars games I played is Super Star Wars, which always kicked my ass. And I remember back to the day getting a bit far into it. Never beat it, but I remember getting far of it, as long as you know where the power-ups and the gun upgrades are at. But Battlefront 2, never played. Time Splitters Future Perfect. Haven't played that. Really, of these following games, there's probably one I played. So I apologize Number 8, Sonic Adventure 2. I played bits of Sonic the Hedgehog back in the day because my cousin had a Genesis. The first Sonic the Hedgehog, not Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The first Sonic the Hedgehog I played. I remember enjoying it. Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World is number 7. Did play Super Mario World. Love that game. It's between that and Super Mario Bros. 3 as to my favorite Mario game. Because Mario 3, I liked the variety of different levels, where each level, each world had their own theme. So you had like the giant world, and you had the world with a lot more greenery to it and plant-like features, and Bowser's world was all fire and brimstone. But Mario World definitely felt like a bigger scope and a lot more secrets to find. Like to get into the star world, where if you know what you're doing, it could be a shortcut to get to the final level. It really did feel like you were on a journey to go all throughout this big giant map, and again all these different side secrets you could find that get to other levels and stages, and the addition of Yoshi, what that brought to the table, and being able to, you could fly in Mario 3, but it felt more extensive in Mario World. That was a lot of fun. I also remember back today being amazed that there was an ending, like a full blown ending where like all these different characters, and there's like a cutscene that felt like you accomplished something, like you got a reward for finishing the game. It wasn't just peace out for 5 seconds or congratulations, you have proved the justice of your culture, or whatever other BS text. It was like, wow, there's a full, like, I don't think it was 5 minutes, but it felt like 5 minutes. Like, wow, I got a reward for beating the game. Felt like the journey was worth it. Like, that was nice to... That seems typical today, but back then it seemed special. Seemed much more special. Number 6, Final Fantasy X. The Final Fantasy games I played was... I think I played a bit of 3, and I played 7. I'm not good at RPG games. I'm terrible at them. Because I know a lot of times you have to scrounge up hit points. You got to scrounge up stuff and farming. It's called farming. I hated having to farm. And then, like, you could die real quick. And it's like... Sometimes I wouldn't know how the hell to beat this fucking thing. And by the skin of my teeth. And just... You need a lot of time to invest into playing these Final Fantasy games. At least that's what it seemed like to me, and I just never could find that time. But I remember playing Final Fantasy VII back to the day on PlayStation, going, wow, this does feel like an epic. You did feel the epicness to want to continue the journey to go, what is going to happen next? That's why it'd probably be better for me to watch someone who knows what they're doing and just watch it as a movie. And I know they did a new version of the game, but it was like in chapters. Didn't you have to like buy each chapter or something, which seemed pretty shitty to me, but... And you never played the other ones. So Final Fantasy X, I don't know which one that is. Number 5, Skyrim. I've heard of Skyrim. Never played it. Number 4 is Zelda Ocarina of Time. I remember Zelda A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo and having a lot of fun with that game. I loved the gameplay of it. I loved when you got the mirror thing. You could go into different worlds. So it's the same spot, but like there had to be a bit of, I don't know, called puzzle solving, but you can't get to this. Well, you go into the other world and then sink back into it. Pretty extensive game to me. But Ocarina of Time, I never played those 3D Zelda games. Number 3, Chrono Trigger. Again, I've heard of it. And like I also say, I'm not good at RPGs, so I would more than likely suck at it. Number 2, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. Isn't that the remake of Metal Gear Solid 1? that intrigued me because I'm such a fan of Metal Gear Solid for PS1. But then I would see the cutscenes and my interest would wane. Because the cutscenes are just so over the top, flipping like I don't know, they're the young bucks from AEW. You're doing Matrix shit everywhere. I went, this just feels ridiculous and overzealous for no reason. I mean, it makes the cutscenes less interesting for me to watch. For one, like, I don't want to play this game if these are the cutscenes I'm getting. I'll just go play the original Metal Gear Solid. Like, why do you have to go this Matrix? What the fuck? Why? 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 But I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know what platform it's for, what console it's for. Maybe I'd give it a chance one day. And number one, Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Western games, I've heard a lot about them. Again, never played them, so can't say anything else about them. But a lot of popular titles I've heard of. Red Dead Redemption, Chrono Trigger. Most of these I've heard of. Like, they sound familiar, but I don't know the details. And again, of these, I probably only played Super Mario World, so it is what it is. So thanks for watching. Thanks once again, Aragorn. From the credits, seems like a pretty good list to me, based on the credit summation of those games. And with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.